Hello and welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUpArchStudio. In this tutorial, we talk about dark theme of the interior rendering in Enscape for SketchUp. Let's get to work. I'm gonna press F on my keyboard and switch to the interior number 1 as my main camera. And I'm gonna click on the visual setting in here and move it to the left side. So I will decrease the field of view as I can to reach to my best distance for my rendering. Some number between 40 to 50, for example, 48 degree can be really good for my job. As you know that exposure is one of the important elements for rendering. Right now I want to turn it off and re-expose my screen manually. It helps me to manage my lights much better. I want to switch it to some number about 72%. And if you look at these places, you can see some type of white color. This white color is the white slot texture, and I want to convert it to the hidden light. So for this reason, I'm going to close the visual setting in here, minimize the Enscape, click on the Enscape material editor, and click on the color M00. And I will change the type of it from generic to the self-illuminate. Now I have some hidden light in here and I can manage the power of it from the luminance part and the color of it from the color part. So albedo is not important, don't pay attention to it. I only want to add some type of safe number, for example 900 candela per meter, and change the color of it to the creamy or something like the gold color to create this type of warm lighting for myself. I can click on the advanced color setting in here and use the RGB color wheel in this place. It helps me to create some customized colors very simple and easy in a few seconds. RGB is the 254, 220 and 40. You can save it or take this Ctrl C and add it to some other places like that, like the Ctrl V and press enter. Now we have this type of warm color in here and everything is good for me. Materials I'll check out, so I want to click on the wood number 5 brick bond about my floor texture. And if I reduce the roughness, you can see more reflection on your ground, but it's not really good because you must to keep the better distance for the reflection parts. I need to add some number about 38% and I think it's really good right now for my job. I can reduce the intensity if I want some more smooth surface. Some number about 66% for the normal map is good. So materials done for me. If I click on the color M06 and M07, I can manage the walls roughness. So when I decrease it, I can see complete reflection of these side on these type of walls. So if I want to increase it to some type of good number, for example, maybe I think some number about 63 is good, and Metallica is 0 because we have some generic plaster color wall. So I'm going to close the Enscape material editor, maximize Enscape again, and this is my final shot. So we have lots of work with these screen and scene. So I'm going to click on the visual setting again, and I want to manage my lighting much better. So I can turn on the auto exposure to see what happened. If I reduce it to the 50 now, we have better result in this job. If you want to manage your lights much better, you can use style option as the white mode, and in the white mode you can manage your colors and lights much easier. But I prefer to use none mode to see all the details at the same time. For the exposure, 54% is good. I will turn on the depth of field, turn off the autofocus, and play with the focal point to reach to the best distance for my job. I want to focus on these panels, wood panels. So I will reduce the focal point and these lighting in here. 6.94 meter is good. And I want to reduce the depth of field to some number about maybe 10%. Next step is the image bar. I will click on the image bar in here and turn on the auto contrast. So if I want to change it to the warm color, I can reduce the color temperature to some type of good number about 4300 Kelvin, and saturation can be increased to the 104%. So Effects are not really useful, lens flare not really useful, bloom is not really useful because we don't have any type of sun position in front of our camera. But if you want to manage these lights in your effects, you can increase the bloom option a little bit and you can see more lights in here. It can make your lights a little bit faded out and it helps you to create some artistic renders. 30% is good and lens flare can be increased to the 60%. If I come back to the main bar, I can decrease the depth of field to the 4% to create some better realistic render. So in the image bar, everything is good. I can increase the vignette, not too much, a little bit, some number about 54%. And chromatic aberration is right now is not really useful. If you look at these woods panels in the backside of these bed, you can see a little bit intensity. If I double click, I can focus more on it. So I will minimize the Enscape right now. Click on the Enscape material editor again, wood number 43. And I want to decrease the normal map intensity to the 0. And you can see what will happen. It will completely change to the simple color. So you need to manage your normal map and height map. I want to use 26%. It's normal map for it. And roughness can be increased to the 40. Metallica is to the 2. And everything is good. So I will press F on my keyboard, switch to the interior number 1 in here. Maximize Enscape again. And click on the visual setting. Image bar is good. Atmosphere, I will turn off the fog option because I need clear GI calculation. And I can reduce the sun brightness to see what happened in my interior design. As you can see, in this part of your job, you will fade out your sun power. Some number about 12 is good for it. Shadow sharpness totally 0 because in the interior lighting, we usually in the 99% of situations, we have soft shadows. Artificial light brightness related to the these hidden lights. So if I increase it, I can make this part of my job much brighter. But 100% is good. And ambient brightness helps you to manage your interior lighting with the exterior lighting. I will decrease it and you can see more shadows under the bed. And if I increase it, you can see more brightness under the bed again. It helps you to create these part of your jobs much brighter. It works like the hyperlight in Lumion. So I want to manage it to the 56. The wind is not really useful and the sky option is not really useful. Final step is the output. I'm going to change my resolution to the Ultra HD and change the rendering quality to the Ultra mode. And I want to render my job. So I'm going to click on the screenshot button in here and save it on my desktop and call it Interior by SketchUpArchStudio. And I will press save. It takes a little bit of time and after that your render will be generated for you. So your render will be generated and exporting for you in Enscape. If you like this tutorial and content, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. If you want to learn more about the Lumion, you can watch the video at the left side. And if you want to learn more about the interior lighting, you can watch the right side video. Thanks and goodbye.